Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson. My name, if you're new, is Quincy Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially if it is your first time indeed. I put out a lot of drum lessons. If you like drum lessons, especially if you like drum lessons about jazz, then I'm your guy. I'm going to break down all kinds of stuff in ways that hopefully make it easy and fun to learn. And of course, if you enjoy my channel, if you enjoy this lesson, please let me know by pressing that like button. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I love hearing from everyone. Leave comments. I respond to everybody. I read them all. And in fact, this lesson is a result of somebody requesting me to talk about the jazz two-feel, the jazz two-feel, the jazz two-feel. So here I go, all right? I'm going to answer in this lesson, how do great jazz drummers play a two-feel, right? And I'm going to break down all different iterations and ways of approaching playing a jazz two-feel. If you're enjoying this lesson so far, go ahead and press the like button right now. And if you need something to play along to, this is a play along that I've created for all drummers, including myself, to shed to work on your two-feel and your four-feel. So the link will be down below to my digital download store. But without further ado, if you guys are ready for this lesson, I know I am. I'm always ready. Are you guys ready? Well, you know what's about to happen. Let's go! Yeah! All right, so what is a two-feel? Why is it so important in jazz? Well, often in a more straight-ahead, traditional jazz kind of context, it's a very useful gear. We'll call it a gear, a first gear or second gear, just like a car. It usually warms the groove up into the next gear of 4/4, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, but the quarter note is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it emulates the tuba, right? Ba, ba, boom, 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 boom. That's what the tuba would do in traditional New Orleans music, right? So it kind of emulates that feel, except now we have it on the acoustic bass. And what we as drummers can do, there's so many things we can do. There's no one way of approaching a two-feel. But I'll just show you some of the most common things. So the first thing is, it's very common to start out in a two-feel with brushes. So I'm going to show you what that sounds like. And by the way, I know you can't see it, but my bass drum is going boom, 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 right with the bass. And often that's a very good way to kind of figure out exactly what you should be doing in the bass drum. But it's feathered. I'm not playing it as full out strong notes or half notes, right? I'm just playing it kind of lightly. And you probably can't hear it in this video, but I am playing it, and it just adds a little more feel underneath what the bass is playing. 2, 3, 4, but brushes. This is a classic, what I'm doing right now. Right? So, to just kind of, something with this pattern, it's very useful for any tempo. If you want to play in 2, if you want to play in 4, if you want to play a ballad, if you want to play up tempo, it's just a very classic pattern. And I'm not going to go too deep with the brushes. I have other videos. In fact, I'll make sure I'll put that link up there. But I use this all the time when I'm playing in 2. Ride cymbal pattern in the right hand and the sweeps in the left hand. But I also use this, which I got from Vernel Fournier, or an iteration of what he does. So Vernel Fournier, when he played with Ahmad Jamal, got such a fat sound. So sometimes I'll do that. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm still keeping the ride cymbal pattern in the right hand, but it's all swept underneath the rug. Not really. Right? Or you can just play in. You don't even have to play the ride cymbal pattern. So with the bass, it sounds like this. I got stuck. And then if I want to play the ride pattern in the right hand, it sounds like this. You see? Or whichever side you prefer to play that skip beat is cool. Okay? So that's I guess a couple ways that you can play it with the brushes. I could go further with patterns and things, but I don't want to get carried away with just the brushes. So with sticks, as I opened the video up with, the classic is the Papa Joe, right? And here I'm gonna make sure you can hear that bass drum. Boom, 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 right? Boom, 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 boom. So sometimes you hint, you just give a little taste of the 4/4. Boom, 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 boom. So in a way, I'm kind of comping while I play in 4 and while I play in 2 and while I provide a sense of that 2 feel. I'm also comping and adding syncopated rhythms, as all the great jazz drummers do and did. Okay, so that's just, you got to be able to do this. I'll put another link of me talking about hi-hat playing. I'll make sure I put that link there. Check that out. I think it's going to help a lot of drummers. You can also simply play closed hi-hat. So even though my hand, I'm pretty much playing exactly what I would play when I'm playing in 4 on the ride cymbal. But because my bass drum is in 2, it feels like I'm in 2. You see? And then if I want to go to 4, I could just by virtue of me changing my bass drum to all the quarter notes, it feels like 4/4 now. Okay, but that's a very valid way to approach playing in 2. Let's see what it sounds like with the bass. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Right? And it's a really good way to keep your dynamics low, right? You want to create. Now you can do that. Right? So I can play really strong and intense without the volume. And then it gives the music somewhere to go. And then maybe I want to, on the next course, I can start to open it up. Right? Okay. Now, what if I go like this? Oh, watch out. I love that sound. It reminds me of Mel Lewis. You see? What's my bass drum doing? It's just giving that anchor of that half note to just stabilize and keep that groove in place, right? But up here I can dance. Right? Me and the bass player hooked up on that. Again, if you're looking for a good play along to work on this, I'm telling you, I use it all the time. It's something I created for myself, but also, of course, for all the drummers looking for a good bass play along. The link is down below for it. Okay, so that's cool. Half open hi-hat, right? Not too Not too open and not too closed where the sound kind of dies out. Okay, so what about, let's go to the ride cymbal. Okay, so let's just see what it sounds like with the bass, and then I'll break it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now our hi-hats are being played on 2 and 4. Bass drum on half notes, of course, 1 and 3. And then in the ride cymbal, we have a couple different options. So first, I'll start where I'm playing off of the half note mainly. See? You see what I mean? So those are my main goal is to bring out that half note. Boom, boom. Remember though, it will not have a good kind of classic 2 feel without the 2 and 4 to contrast the 1 and 3. So the oompa effect, right? Oompa, 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 oompa. It's done in a much slicker way, but that feeling has to be underlying everything we're doing. It has to be at the core, I guess you could say, of what we're doing. So that's why I'm bringing my hi-hat out. And you notice what I'm doing on my left hand? I'm placing pickup notes there to just kind of bring it out, bring out the half note a little bit more. And I can just I can comp a little bit too. Just like I would if I'm playing in 4 on the ride cymbal. Right? And I can also dance on the ride cymbal. Right? You see what I mean? So I'm not handicapped, or I'm not, stuck or relegated to just going like this. Right? We can dance a little bit with that groove. Okay, so now, what if I go like, now this is something I got from Jimmy Cobb. Sometimes he would play actually in 4 on the ride cymbal while the bass player is playing in 2. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, that's a great feel too. If I can find where the bass player is, here we go. Right? And that totally works. Again, my bass drum, I'm playing half notes. So boom, 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 boom. And I'm just comping as normal in the hands, in the left hand, in the right cymbal. Bop, 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 bop. I can always return back to that, or go back to the 4/4. Another really cool thing that you can do is play the conga beat while the bass player is playing in 2. So that's another great and classic feel that you would hear from great jazz drummers. Now some drummers like the great Kenny Washington, and there's another drummer, I can't think of who it is, maybe Kenny Dennis, maybe. But they play it backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But it's still the conga beat, it's just the backwards conga beat. But it still feels good, right? However you do it. Oh, you can do that too. Playing 2 and 4 on the ride cymbal. But I'm still playing half notes in the bass drum. Playing on the bell or cymbal. You have so many options. And then maybe when you get to 4, you go to a different cymbal. Maybe you're playing on 2 and 4, or you're playing in 2 on this cymbal. And then you go to 4, and then you change cymbals. That's a very common strategy to kind of emphasize the change of feel, the change of gear, and the change of something happening in the music. So there are a bunch of options for you when you want to play into and sound like one of the jazz masters, the great jazz drummers who played this music. All right, so that is today's lesson. I hope it was helpful in clearing up any confusion you might have had as far as what to do when the chart or when a band leader or when someone says, hey, let's start with a 2 feel. Now you have a lot of options, and as you can see, it's a lot that you can kind of explore and try out with different scenarios, with different sections, different soloists, different songs, different tempos. So I hope you'll have fun with it. I love hearing from you. Again, this lesson was born as a result of someone leaving a comment and asking for exactly this lesson. So I read your comments, I listen, I try to respond to everybody. So let me hear from you. Check out the bass play alongs. They start in 2, but then they go into 4/4, so that's very helpful. But until the next time, you know what to do. You really do, because I say it in every lesson at the end. Practice hard, but what? Practice smart. Okay? Take care. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.